Welcome to Ops&Allies.
Welcome to Ops&Allies, where strategy meets science and alliances meet analysis. I'm your host, Sarah, a behavior analyst.
And I'm Bean, your co-host and not a behavior analyst.
Bean, do you know what happened the other night? The premiere of BB27.
Big brother.
Today we're going to dive into what happened during the premiere. We're going to talk about our first impressions, observations, we're going to ease into our behavior analysis talk. So I'm going to drop some nuggets here and there.
We'll do sprinkles.
Yeah, we'll do some sprinkles as you break down our first impressions for us. And then we'll do a little bit more of a dive into the behavior analysis after all of that.
No, that makes sense. We get a little dusting before the behavior boba comes out.
I can't drop all of the knowledge all at once because then our brains will just melt.
Damn, I'm already hot.
Well, let's get into this season. So, the house this year
Oh my god,
is so
gorgeous.
Cool.
This has got to be one of my favorite houses to date.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, so let's set the
Maximalism.
The dressing here. It's Hotel Mystère. It is gorgeous. It is so diverse. Every room is like murder mystery, but like its own contained theme.
My favorite room this year. I love the bunk beds.
Yeah, what? And they were so fun to find. Like the first house guests go into the house, and they seem to be losing steam a little bit. Like they know there's something else. Where is it?
Yeah.
Guy finds a hidden room. What's behind it?
Bunk
beds. Boom.
I don't know why that was so fun. Maybe it's just because it was different. But I guess the child in me is like, I would love to sleep in that on a summer vacation.
And if I'm a house guest coming in here, I'm like, is this the only safe place in this house? Because you walk in there and you know somebody's going to get murdered. Somebody's going to get kidnapped, stolen, murdered.
That's definitely the vibe they were setting up.
Oh, yeah. And they deliver. Julie Chen is beautiful as well.
Always.
But I liked her outfit tonight.
All right, let's get into our first impressions of all of the house guests.
Yeah. Let's get into it. I always like the way that they introduce the guests to the house. Always adds another layer. I don't know if it's random draw up, but they do 4 groups of 4, right? So, yeah, who are the first 4?
So first up we had Kelly, Zach, Ashley, Riley.
Right. Kelly is a pilot from, the boonies, the sticks. She flies all over the world. She seems real cool, and I think maybe she's like a background player at first, but I think she may, come into her own.
I'm guessing, hoping, because I'm always hoping for a really fun social game to watch. I'm hoping that her history in all of her travels will lead her to be a very social player.
Right.
Be able to connect with a bunch of different people.
And like dealing with different cultures, like having maybe adaptability in the way that she connects to people. Right. Because some people, like, they only connect with that certain other kind of person. I feel like she could maybe butterfly it up.
And she's used to traveling to different places and walking into the Big Brother house. You have a lot of new situations, new people. Everything is very anxiety-inducing.
It sounds so overwhelming.
But it kind of sounds like traveling.
Yeah.
To foreign countries.
No, definitely.
So she might be well equipped.
Kelly shows up next with her first with her video.
And then Zach.
Zach. He's so pretty.
I got a lot of showman's vibes from him. Like, he even said first thing, he's looking for a showman's.
They always do it with the pretty ones, but like in particular, I feel like they edited Zach to be Mr. Pretty Sport Boy who wants to kiss some girls in the house. He wants to get flirtatious.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see if that plays out the way that they alluded to.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have Ashley, a lawyer.
Really, what I got from her is that she's gonna be like allowed it in your face, I think. Right? I think she has the potential to, maybe blow up her own game.
Well, hopefully she's a good lawyer and she's able to
Right.
be calculated in her how she navigates those social situations, because as a lawyer, ideally you'd be able to pull out information when you need to, but hold on to it when you think it would benefit the long run.
Right. I mean, the loud isn't necessarily, bad. Like, loud players win, all the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's about how you use that kind of very, like, emotional response. That, yeah, maybe she'll be more analytic with it because of that lawyer background. I would love to see it because those players can be fun, sometimes a little abrasive. Can we get a Rachel, anyone?
Hey, she won.
Exactly. Whew, what a season.
Next we have Riley, not our first bull rider.
Hey,
uh
shout out to Jason.
I liked him.
Yeah,
That was a
Jason
good
was
season.
cool.
Yeah, Riley is a bull rider who he looks up to past house guest Jesse.
Yeah, which is awesome because Riley is like a tall drink of water, right? He's pretty handsome, but he's long, skinny. Um,
And Jesse is that
Jesse is,
beefed up.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, he hangs out at the Big Brother house, is what Jesse does.
Yeah, he hangs out in Pandora's box, so I'm hoping that those two get to meet this season because it's a bromance waiting to happen.
Yes. And I feel like, all right, if Riley, he's already in the Big Brother sphere now, right?
Yeah.
Which I feel like if you're in Big Brother, even if it's 20 seasons later, good chance to go meet, past contestants. So
Mhm.
he is right on his track of meeting his idol. Good for you, Riley.
Yeah, seriously. All right, our next four were Amy, Adrian, Lauren, and Keanu.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So Amy.
Amy. Amy is a single mom who works two jobs. No, but she is a single mom. But she is,
Self-proclaimed mama bear.
yeah, right. She's very, very bubbly, very outgoing. Maybe potentially too outgoing.
Someone on the way in described her as very loud, over the top. I mean, Amy even said herself that she knows she's gonna start a fight.
Hmm.
So honestly, I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. I think
love
she's
the
gonna be good
drama.
TV at the end of the day. I think she has, yeah, the chance to be maybe like a fan favorite because of, the way that she might cause some fun hijinks in the house. Kelly, when this next four came into the house, yeah, Kelly did not seem to be a fan right off the bat.
No. So that dynamic might, I don't know, maybe they could be friends. But maybe they will butt heads.
Yeah, it's definitely not like
First
immediate
impressions.
first impression of I want to be friends with that person.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Next we have Adrian, carpenter, nerd, a
Yeah,
very organized
Adrian.
lad.
He seems like a sweetie pie.
I think so.
Uh-huh. I like Adrian. I love that he did Big Brother training.
Yeah, with the rig in his backyard for the
Mhm.
the wall comp.
He made slop for himself.
He
and-
slept on the floor.
I
That's
feel like
dedication.
this is like Ian levels of I want to experience Big Brother, but like now he's doing prior training to handle it like a boss. So I feel like, yeah, if we're in a situation where we're choosing have-nots, we got our boy Adrian
He's
putting his
prepared.
hand straight up.
Yeah, probably. That's a good prediction. I like him so far. He's in my top 3, I think, based on first impressions alone.
My first gut instinct is that like my fear with Adrian is he might want too much clout for all the prep work that he did. And if he makes moves, I feel like he might be the type to want the clout for him too, and he might not quite know when to put that information to himself and when to, trickle it out into the rest of the house.
That's interesting that you say that. It makes me think of a behavioral term we call the matching law.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, the matching law is when there are multiple options for how to behave.
Mm-hmm.
Say, one option is seek out the clout, tell people what you did in order to like get the credit for it.
Right.
The other option being keep it to yourself and lay low, hold that play your cards close to your chest until maybe you want to tell that later. Which option is going to produce a greater amount of reinforcement?
Right. And like you never know what people are gonna do with that information.
Well, it's different. That reinforcement level is different for everybody and at different times, and what else is going on. And we'll talk more about
Right.
what we call all of those things a little bit later. But yeah, will he seek out the clout? Will he keep his cards close to his chest?
You have to hold on to information in this game, right? So that you have nuggets to use in these conversations. It turns into a barter system. It's very political. It's very I do you a favor, you do me a favor, especially towards the end, right? I think you're better off trying to keep as much to your chest as possible without having to reveal much. And part of that is honestly the end, right? Part of why I think like Derek was so revered is, I mean, so many people were flabbergasted at the end, right? He had all of this information that he kept to himself, but he knew how to utilize it and leverage that information in very subtle ways where people didn't get too scared off, right? Because that happens too. You issue a little bit of nugget of truth, and then people get paranoid. They take that, and it turns back on you so fast.
No, he knew how to manipulate people's motivating operations. He knew what reinforced people. He knew how to clock that immediately, and he used it to his advantage. It was so cool.
He was a detective, or is he a police officer?
He was a police officer.
Yeah. So, Derek learned a lot of skills, obviously, from being a police sergeant and practicing it. I do think that, yeah, the folks that go on to be very good detectives, like, it's training, but it's also just, like, I don't know, intuition, right? I don't know if there's a behavior way to put that into terms.
There is, yeah. I mean, his behavior, you might call it intuition, but he just probably very quickly learned how to read people, and that behavior was probably shaped up over time through just good personal experience and also his police training. All right, next we have Lauren.
Lauren also seems like a sweetie pie. I didn't honestly have much impression of Lauren.
They didn't show her a whole lot.
Yeah. But she does fashion. She seems very nice. But yeah, I didn't really get anything of substance back.
We didn't really get a whole lot from anybody.
Right.
Because this, even though it was a longer episode, 90 minutes, it was jam-packed full of twists. We got so much information on this season. So these impressions are very bold and big, and we're making a lot of extrapolation.
But I think that could work in her favor in the house.
It could. We need balance.
Yeah, like, pretty tried true method is, hey, let's like lay low through roughly the first half of the game, develop steady alliances, right? Gather information, and then start playing harder in the latter half. So maybe she takes like more of an Angela role. Angela made it pretty far, and that would be my, I think, closest comp that comes to mind.
That's a good
Angela
prediction.
with Tyler, I should clarify, not Angela with crazy eyes.
Right, yeah, other Angela. No, I think that's a fair prediction. Next we have Keanu.
Keanu's cool.
Ben, he's the one.
He is the one. I mean, I feel like we have to, if we're doing our leaderboard, put him at number 1 at this point, right?
We have to, because he is the one.
He is there's nothing else to say. Although, funnily enough, he said his parents named him that after Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and not The Matrix. Doesn't matter.
He's still the one.
He's still the one.
No, I really liked Keanu's vibe. I think he... So many times we see these big, jacked guys, and I don't really relate to them very much.
Right.
But he's a big old nerd.
He
plays D&D. Yeah, he seems like a fun guy to be around. So he's up there on my list just based on first impressions, just based on vibes. I don't know how he's
Yeah.
gonna do as a player, although he has experience as a dungeon master. So I don't know. Maybe he
You
could
gotta be on your
manipulate.
feet, you gotta be able to play characters. I love that they included his like dungeon master voice in his little intro video. I just thought that was very cute.
I think he'll do well socially and in comps, and if he uses his dungeon master skills, assuming he's a good dungeon master,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be able to improvise and think on his toes and when confronted with difficult situations because things change so fast in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, they do.
If he uses all those skills, I think he has the potential to do really well.
Yeah, no, definitely. He seems very outgoing. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't succumb to the house. I feel like maybe he could be one of the ones that like, because of his personality, he ends up missing people a lot, and it starts really seeping into your heart, and like, you just don't be the same person at that point. You
Well,
can't be the same person at that point. Like, but maybe he'll bounce back.
again, major extrapolations that we're making right
Oh
now.
yeah.
But
I hope I'm wrong about that, Keanu. I hope you go far.
I think he will. He might be number one on my list. If I had to like pick somebody that I think is gonna win this game, a very, very bold prediction.
Wow.
For me, it's Keanu.
I'll be honest, I don't think any of the first 8 are the ones that I think would be most likely to win.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well let's dive into the second 8, the
Let's do it.
second half of this crew. Next up, we have Catherine, Vince, Mickey, and Jimmy. So you want to talk about Catherine?
Yeah, Catherine, raging feminist,
Yep.
again, self-proclaimed. I love they definitely force him into doing this, right? Like, hey, give us something buzzy about yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, Catherine's raging feminist. Number one option to lead All Girls Alliance.
The infamous
Yes.
All Girls Alliance.
Will this year be the year? Probably not. It never works.
It never works, and
Which sucks,
it's kind
honestly.
of sad.
Girl Squad.
Yeah, it's just never been done well. It can work.
But, I mean, that's the nature of Big Brother, right? It gets clicky. It gets clicky very fast, but you have to be clicky, honestly. You got to shore up your own alliances, and you know what? If, especially at the start, everyone's making alliances left, right, trying to, like, form who's going to be my person in this house. And, like, if Keanu asks Amy to be their person, and then, like, Amy asks to get put in an all-girls alliance, right? Like, where does she go from here? Does she try to ride it out with somebody who's going to go into the house, be seen as a bigger comp threat because he's yoked, right? Personal trainer. Everyone's going to be like, oh my god, he can win so many comps. Whether or not he's good through the first few comps, he will be labeled this way, right?
Yeah.
He just will.
All the big guys usually get labeled that way. If
always
you're
happens.
fit, you're a comp piece.
Yeah, even if you don't do well in the comps, it is hilarious to me.
Well, don't worry, because we will be taking data on competition wins.
Damn right.
All right. Next, we have Vince.
Oh, Vince. Yeah.
He is unemployed and not afraid to tell you over and over.
Yeah, my man says he likes to keep his days busy by playing ping pong and juggling machetes, which is sick, by the way. He is definitely an outsized character. Maybe a potential villain on the season.
Could be. Honestly, he's already made empty promises that he broke. So we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, during the competitions. I mean, it's not just the mustache. He's got the Mr. Eggman mustache going, but I do think his personality would lean towards him being able to break more hearts.
I will say, I didn't love his vibe, but I was not Tucker's biggest fan last season at the beginning, but then I was so sad when he got voted out. So
yeah, I think that's a fairly good comparison there.
Big personality, has the potential to be abrasive, but I don't know, maybe he's
kind of in a funny way though.
Yeah,
right? Of like hey, this is a game. Remember.
Maybe he'll grab our hearts. I don't know.
Right.
Next we have Mickey, event coordinator.
Yeah, I didn't really have like much from Mickey outside of she's confident. She said she wants to coordinate the best season of Big Brother ever.
I'm here for that.
Right? Let's make it happen, Mickey. Put your behaviors where your mouth is. No, there's a better way to say that.
He'll come up with one.
I have a good feeling about her. I'm not gonna lie.
I initially thought she could be a really good social player.
Yeah, I think she's my number one to win this game off of the premiere. If
Really?
she can, if she can hold up like what she's saying, right? I think this game you win it through coordination of multiple pieces.
Yeah,
You don't
true.
let the people know that they are being coordinated. We'll see if she can do that, more in the background, like puppet master type of deal, without getting caught.
Can she generalize her event coordination
Oh
skills
my
to
god.
the Big Brother house? Let's go talk about Jimmy,
Jimmy, Jimmy,
strategy
Jimmy!
consultant. Jimmy's a very interesting one
Jimmy, poor Jimmy, he got fired.
via Twitter.
Oh, that hurts, dude.
Yeah, that does suck. Sorry, Jimmy. He is planning to lie about his job and his background.
Which I think is smart in his case.
I do think so. I mean, you have strategy in the name of your title.
Yeah, don't tell people that you work in politics when you go into a game that's all about politics.
Yeah, so he's smart to keep that a secret. I'm interested to see if he can generalize his skills to the Big Brother house because you're right, it is a lot of politics.
His skill set might be my favorite. I'll tell you what.
Interesting
I
that
don't think he'd be my number one to win because I don't think that his first impression garners him enough trust.
ooh. I mean, he does work in politics, so
I don't know if he's going to be very trustable right off the bat, and like if you don't nail that first impression, it's a hard uphill battle to get to that level of trust.
true. But he'll be a fun one to watch. Next we have that's the last of that foursome. The last four to enter the house were Morgan, Zay, Will, and Ava.
Yeah, Morgan is a gamer. Has decided to take the route of hiding that from the house, which I think is, you know, my feelings are on the opposite spectrum of Jimmy, where like I think that's wise for Jimmy. I don't get why Morgan thinks that this is a good idea to hide.
I don't get it either. I mean, yes, strategy is involved in gaming, but I don't think those skills are m- very much more valuable than most other
Unless her
professions.
her number one game, right, is Among Us. I feel like she's setting herself up to get caught in her lie that she's actually a pro gamer. And it's gonna be like a Frankie reveal. Like, so?
Yeah.
Am I missing something here?
I don't know, but if you're missing something, I'm missing it too.
Yeah, okay. So there's Morgan. We'll see what happens with her.
Let's talk about Zay,
Zay is also a cutie pie.
door-to-door salesman. We got that cute little clip of him knocking on somebody's door and getting rejected.
You know what? Took it like a champ. Like he's got that little like sad puppy dog that you just want to pet him on the head.
Yeah, I thought it showed that he doesn't take himself too seriously, which I appreciate, and he has a sense of humor. So
Yeah, I think he'll do well socially.
I think he will.
I think he has the potential to go pretty far as long as he can get out of being viewed as a threat from the start.
Yeah. Yep. Next we have Will.
Will is retired Army for
Big
22 years?
Something like
Something like that? Yeah.
Big family guy.
Oh, yeah. He called his wife what again?
He called her a beautiful chocolate drop.
Isn't that just adorable?
And I just am excited for the heartwarming clips that we'll get later on where he's just sitting around talking about his wife while everybody else is, trying to hook up and get showmanced up and whatever. But he's just like, yeah, I love my wife, I love my kids, I love my grandkids. I think he'll be a very relatable house guest,
Yeah.
and I think, I mean, they always cast one older house guest each season, but he might be one of my favorites
Coming into the house, yeah,
coming
definitely.
into the house.
He reminds me a lot of Cliff, and we loved Cliff, and I think maybe he has the potential to be a more more like outgoing version of Cliff. Get some deep relationships quicker. Cliff kind of I like Cliff's approach, but staying a little bit more in the background for a lot of the game. But I think Will has the potential to maybe like try to get some guys under his wing. He didn't seem that old, right?
Mm-mm.
Like he's got grandkids, but like I mean my man looks great.
Yeah, he does.
Looks like he's in great shape.
I'm excited for Will.
Mm-hmm.
Our last house guest that entered the house in our main group, Ava.
Ava. Ava's a little weirdy.
She's an aura portrait artist.
Oh, I love
which is
it.
interesting.
She's got great fashion sense. She's got
the floppy hats are great.
Floppy hat with a big flower in it.
Yeah.
She's very hippie gypsy. Unfortunately, she did not necessarily impress me as far as what skills she's bringing to the table here.
Well, she reads people's auras as part of her job, right? As part of what she does. I don't subscribe to the whole movement of like reading auras and vibes and all of that.
Maybe she'll be kept around for a while as like, the shaman of the house.
Perhaps.
But she's got, this interesting knowledge base that I think people will like cling to because you just start to cling onto anything that's new.
Maybe. If it was me in the house, I might be friends with her, but we don't agree on the general basis of the universe, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. So those were our 16 house guests that walked into the house.
It's a nice, diverse group.
All brand new people.
All brand new people. Love to see it.
Until...
Uh-oh. We do have a mystery house guest, number 17.
Number 17. She comes down the stairs.
Dun, 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 dun. Loud and abrasive. It's your girl, Rachel!
Floaters, grab your life vests!
Brandon!
Oh my gosh.
So again, she keeps coming back.
We have very differing opinions on Rachel. I love Rachel in the BB universe. I love watching her navigate the house. She is, yes, abrasive, but honestly so headstrong and so confident in herself. And she is competitive. For good or for bad, she is very competitive.
Oh my god, yeah. She has grown on me. I think if you just watch her first season, you have a tendency to not like Rachel.
Well,
because she can get mean.
She was mean.
But yeah, honestly, she took something like Big Brother where you're just viewing yourself, right? You watch back and you just see yourself, and I think she took that and just like grew tremendously, right? And then she became a really good player. Let's see how she does. She's gonna have a massive target on her back.
Oh, absolutely. There's absolutely going to be an alliance that forms solely with the intention to get Rachel out.
I don't think she has a great chance of winning. Let's be real. But sometimes it is always to like a certain subset of the house's like frustration. Sometimes people cling on to the good players that come back into the house and win, and they like try to learn from them maybe, but also try to ride coattails and like have them take them into the game. Like they are the source of experience.
It's a strategy for sure. So we have all of our house guests. Let's do a run through of what else happened during this episode.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone comes in, they start to do their mingling thing. You can start to see some of the initial connections happen. You get some bromance stuff between Zay and Keanu. You have Zach seeing Lauren come into the house and just get enamored with her.
Some googly eyes.
Yeah, he got some googly eyes. But for the most part, pretty chill. Then finally they hear the voice over the loudspeaker.
House guests, please meet in the living room.
And they all meet, get there, and the lights shut off. Lights turn on. Where's Julie?
Nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, she's gone. Just a shoe.
Just a shoe left. We do see a Jigsaw knockoff guy
Yeah,
come onto
so
the screen.
yeah, she's replaced with the mastermind, who gives the house guests instructions on who basically tells the house guests they need to split into two groups of 8. One group needs to go find Julie. The other group needs to go find the HOH.
Relic.
Yeah, the HOH relic, which is now missing. We're presuming we need this relic to win the HOH, or maybe this is something that the HOH holds on to. We'll see.
Yeah, but either way, if they don't complete both of these missions, the game cannot proceed.
So they split into their teams. First, we get the find the Julie comp, right? Very well-rounded competition, I think.
Yeah, some puzzles, some memory, observation skills, and some strategy. I really enjoyed. Right off the bat, first comp, we get some sneaky strategy in there.
Yeah, no, definitely. So this one really it was a race between Adrian and Zach. Adrian completed his puzzle to get over the lava, so he made his bridge first, and he got to all these locked doors. There were 8 of them. He gets to hear a message in each of those that is describing Julie Chen from that evening in some capacity, right? 7 of those are lies. 1 of them is the truth. Julie lies behind the true door, right? So Adrian makes it across. He starts going in line. I think he gets through maybe like 4 of them, right? And yeah, he's not convinced that any of these are true, right? So by the time Adrian gets to about door number 4, Zach completes his puzzle and he just beelines it to the opposite end. And it's really like a race to the middle between the two of them. But hats off to you, Zach. Yeah, don't follow in the footsteps of somebody who's trying to rule out lies, especially if your first impression of Adrian was like, hey, this guy knows Big Brother. Zach ultimately wins out, even though he didn't do his bridge puzzle first. Very well done.
He showed a lot more strategy than I anticipated seeing from him.
Agreed, yeah.
So he's going to be an interesting person to watch, I think.
Now we start to like Zach a little bit more. He's starting to show a little bit more of his, strategic mind.
He's not dumb.
And so he's excited. Gotta say, loved Zach's ridiculous poses at the end at the camera. He was throwing peace signs,
Oh my goodness, yeah.
flipping arrows. It was ridiculous. But he found Julie. Yay!
Found Julie and won $10,000.
That's right. He is. I feel like it's lesser in these newer seasons, the magnitude, but he's gonna have a target on his back because he already won something.
Well, it's really all the information that they have. Any concrete information. That's
Right.
a lot of what they know about him right now is he's $10,000 richer.
We'll see how much of a target it puts on him.
So then we go into our next competition with the other 8 house guests to find the HOH relic.
Right, yeah. Then so this is kind of like Indiana Jones and Last Crusade coming in with all the cups. In a big room, they have all of these relics, all with slightly different, features on them. And so really they're comparing 2 sets of 4 features. There's 4 gems, all different colors on the face of the relic. So they need to make sure that they have the right gems in the right position, right color gems in the right position. And then there's 4 keys engraved onto this relic that all have different patterns and geometry on them. So they're matching position, color, geometry, and trying to figure out which one is the right one. All they had, really, the relic was sitting in the living room. Like, they should have been, just like soaking up what did that relic look like. And they were, right? A lot of them knew some of the colors. I think the geometry is really what held them up, right? Because it was admittedly pretty similar between the different quadrants. I was surprised in this one how quickly people started making their guesses, to be honest.
It did seem very fast.
Yeah, maybe that was editing. It's always hard to tell. But yeah, so they started making their guesses right away. Love this part of the comp. When you make a guess and you're wrong,
Trapdoor.
And like a legit one, they just fall. And then I thought, okay, Keanu goes up with the first guess. He falls down the door. You show, all these shocked faces, and everyone's like, oh my god, they like legitly like just dropped him.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there'd be a little bit more restraint.
No.
No.
Seemingly no.
Yeah, seemingly everyone just kept beelining. Ultimately, I think, yeah, this is a comp where like patience won out the day. There simply wasn't enough time and enough surety over your guessing. So, I appreciate the try, but I do think patience won here. Over the course of the competition, the longer you stayed in, the more hints you got,
Right.
right? And so, yeah, who ultimately won this one? It was
Jimmy.
Mr. Politician. So good on you, good sir. He did not fall into the pit, and yeah, you got like a special advantage then.
He got to choose the 4 house guests. Usually everybody plays in the first HOH competition, but this time around only 4 people, and he got to choose the 4.
And could or could not be himself, right?
Yeah, right. Because it's always interesting to me who wants the first HOH and who doesn't.
And they did a good job, I think, editing in this episode to show that. Like, and Jimmy took a nice approach of just sitting down with everyone one on one and just saying like, "Hey, do you want to play? Do you not want to play?"
I thought everybody was going to say no, but some people did say yes.
Yeah, I thought more people would say yes. I know like first HOH puts a target on your back, but like
And
that's
it's hard.
safety, and it's a really good way to start getting relationships because people they're gonna have to come talk to you.
Right, but a lot of people come and try to kiss the HOH's butt right off the bat, and then is that genuine?
Right.
So the connections made there might not be as strong.
Yeah, there's always the worry that you're just having people blow smoke up your ass. But that's part of the game. You got to decipher what's real and what's not real. And if you're good at it, you have a tendency to go far, right?
And at least there's safety. So again, we see that matching law in effect. Is safety, is the prospect of safety more reinforcing, or the prospect of not having to get any blood on your hands in the first week?
And for most people, it was blood on the hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately, Jimmy ended up working or bringing himself into the HOH competition. Adrian, Vince, and Ashley. And I believe all 3 of them had made mention that they would throw the comp to Jimmy.
Yeah, that's definitely what was shown. But Vince said, "Yes, I'll throw it to you if you want me to Jimmy's face." But then in the diary room was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep that promise."
Immediate walk back. Yeah.
So we already have some two-faced behavior coming from Vince, so we know he's capable and seemingly very comfortable with lying. Which, I mean, you got to be able to lie in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, I appreciate those who want to play an honest game. You are fighting an uphill battle.
Yes, it's very hard to win playing a totally honest game.
The competition itself starts then with the 4 of them. It's a tree with like 3 balancing branches. You got to hang 6 weights on, wait 10 seconds after you press a button, and if it stays there for 10 seconds, you win, right? Which is fun. Adrian thought he was going to win at first, but then he ended up falling at the last second, and Vince ended up winning, which is cool. His fell at like 10.2 seconds, so way to go, buddy. You made it just in time. And yeah, now we're right away in a situation where Jimmy asked him to throw the comp, and he very clearly did not throw the comp. Is that, good, bad? I think it's too early to get mad at this, and I think Jimmy should hopefully know that, right? You can't start throwing lying fingers at the first HOH, especially. Don't put any ammo against you. That's ammo of week 1. No ammo.
No ammo, because, like we said before, you essentially know nothing about all these people. So everything you do, any concrete evidence they have, is really all they have to go on. So don't give them anything bad.
You already got, a hunky man that won $10,000. Target.
I mean, it's a strategy to target anybody who wins any chunk of money. Our first HOH of the summer.
Our first HOH of the summer is Vince. Congrats, Vince. You are our first data point of comp winner. We got Jimmy, we got Zach, and now we got Vince. 3 comp wins, 1 HOH win. Put it in the data list.
Already there. We also learn, do you remember the AI arena from last season?
I sure do.
Well, it's back, rebranded BB Blockbuster.
Yeah, we went very literal with the name this time. We're coming off the block.
And Julie said this is going to be something that we get as a permanent fixture in the game.
I like it. Honestly, I really did.
You just want more competitions.
Yeah, the competitions are fun.
Ben's like, play more games, play more games.
Yeah, why not? It just adds an extra level of like intensity to it. Like the amount of times that Tucker brought himself off, awesome. That was so fun.
So cool. Oh, the scramble. The scramble is always fun to watch.
The nerves, so much nerves in that competition.
Right.
One of the ladies last season just straight up broke down in the middle of the comp. She just couldn't take the pressure.
Well, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you're having your life in the game on your hands. It's nothing but you. And if you crumple, you get to go up on the block and have 50-50 shot of going home.
We also learn about another brand new twist.
Mm-hmm.
Our mastermind has an accomplice in the house.
Somebody, helped the mastermind shut all the lights off when Julie was getting kidnapped.
Who was it?
Yeah, we don't know. All the house guests have to come together and guess. Is this weekly, right? Like a weekly vote?
Oh, I'm not sure, actually.
Okay, I guess we'll find out more in the next episode. Fingers crossed. But yeah, right now we just know there's an accomplice. They're helping out the mastermind. There's going to be an Among Us type vote. So, Morgan, let's show your gamer skills.
Yep, if they can come together and decide correctly who the accomplice is, that person is booted.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't vote correctly,
they just stay.
They stay hidden.
Right? So you get to narrow it down like week by week. I hope they let us guess along with the house guests.
Me too. I have a feeling they're going to tell us at some point if the house doesn't get it right.
Maybe they have like an episode threshold. Like, okay, we've gone like 2 weeks in. Now we're going to tell America.
I feel like that's a good way to do it. I think that keeps it interesting. And then you can root for whether or not you want the person to stay hidden.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see what kind of strategic layers it adds to the social game, right? At some point, if the accomplice starts to feel pressure that they're going to be voted, right? How do they handle that situation? Do they deflect the blame onto somebody else and succeed? Do they deflect the game, or do they deflect the blame and are way too obvious about it and get themselves caught? Do they share that information of being the accomplice with their alliances and have a more concerted effort to get a different house guest evicted because, hey, I have your vote, I have your back, this is me, I want to stay in this game, let's play together.
Can they do that?
Right.
Are they
allowed to tell people? We'll see, because that's a huge bit of information as leverage, and information is like your currency in the house. All right, now that we went through episode synopsis, let's talk nerdy. I want to hear nerdy from you.
Oh, okay.
You talked a little bit about the matching law already.
Yep.
Let's dive a little bit more into that. What are some examples of the matching law so far already in episode 1?
Well, I think the one that stands out to me the most is, and we've seen this from a couple of people already, the decision to lie about their profession.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 options, right? Tell the truth about what you do, or make up some other profession and lie about it. 2 options, and the prospect of each outcome drives what people ultimately do. Mm-hmm. So in Jimmy's case, he's lying about his job.
Right. Which I think is smart in his case.
I think it's very smart. He could tell the truth about his profession where, the outcome of that he's seeing as people seeing him as a threat.
Right.
Or make up something different and, you know, avoid having that threat to begin with.
Right. So he's like he's weighing. Yeah, he's just weighing his options.
Mhm.
Right.
And that's a lot of what the matching law is essentially. It's just weighing the options between two. Sometimes sometimes there's not as much conscious thought that goes into it, and it's just how you're behaving in that moment. But he, fortunately for this decision, had time to think about it, and there was those private events happening. Private events are the behaviors that you can't see. So thoughts, thinking about strategy.
Right.
Those private events that he was already having, he was able to strategize and make the decision to keep that to himself. Something that's going to come up a lot, I'm going to talk about it a lot throughout the season because they're so interesting to analyze, is motivating operations.
MOs.
MOs. Are you familiar with the term motivating operations?
I'm familiar with those words separately, but not together. MO in my head does not mean motivating operation. But I just, maybe watched more Law and Order.
So motivating operations, on a real basic definition, alter the value of something to act as a reinforcer or punisher.
Okay. So maybe somebody tells you that this thing is good, that thing's value as a reinforcer goes up because you now want it, because you've been told it's good.
That could be. You're mixing in some rule governed behavior. So that's also on my list of things to talk about today. But let me give you some examples of motivating operations in terms of the Big Brother house. So we can see the value of reinforcers go up, or we can see them go down. So an example of their value going up is we see so much lying in the house, right?
Right.
The motivation to lie increases when you have a secret to keep. We also will see more lying, or the value of somebody's vote is really high, right? You want to sway somebody to vote your way. That reinforcer is really high, so you're going to engage in behaviors to sway their vote to vote your way.
Got you. Okay, so yeah, like you're motivated to go after the vote of a floater versus somebody you know is already against you, right? And so you'll be more incentivized to go talk to that floater instead.
Well, so yes, because the response effort is going to be lower,
right,
to go for the floater versus somebody who is very stuck in their alliance.
Right, and so like in that example, that effort is really what's kind of helping with that value. One, like they want the vote no matter what, but there's less input to get that vote for the floater. So a higher value for them.
So that brings us back to the matching law.
Yeah.
Response effort involved definitely is a contributing factor in when we talk about the matching law, for which behavior somebody ultimately engages in. Some examples, going back to MOs, some examples of things that bring down the value of a reinforcer: being on slop.
Oof.
That sounds terrible, being on slop for
Certainly
a full
punishment.
week.
Maybe not for Adrian. Maybe he's cool with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's acquired a taste for it. But yeah, all of the punishments really in Big Brother are there to alter the motivation of these people. And then I touched on this a little bit, sprinkled throughout what we've talked about so far, but the heightened emotions, the stress, anxiety of this new situation, and just the excitement of meeting Julie Chen and being in the Big Brother house, the competitions, all of that adrenaline, that's also a big motivating operation for a lot of behavior. So we'll see how how that sways people's behavior throughout the
Mhm.
season, because that's going to affect different people differently. Some people can handle that heightened state of
Right.
emotions better than others.
Okay, got you. Yeah, so like maybe for some people being in that Big Brother house for a month is like it it's good for them, but it's for some people it's
Ooh.
bad for them. How would you describe that, right? Because some people can handle it. They break down a month in because they miss their families, whatever, right? Some people are totally fine with it. So how would you describe MO in like that contrast?
So we need a specific behavior to
Okay.
talk about here. So in terms of, let's say, just very broadly navigating social situations, for some people, we would call that an establishing operation,
An EO.
an EO, and then for some people, it's an abolishing operation,
Ayo.
an AO. So remember, we said that for some people that could increase the value of the social connection that they're making in the house, and for some people, it brings it down. Um, I think that mixed with how well do they jive with the other people in there? Um, are they in the best situation for themselves? Can they handle the stress of the house? Are they doing well? Are they not doing well?
Right.
Because that can alter.
Yeah, like the girl that like we said was in the AI arena and she crumpled like she wasn't doing well and she just kept going down, 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 spiraling.
She couldn't pull herself out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll talk a lot about MOs throughout the season because they're really fun to analyze and they just change from moment to moment.
Good, because you know what? I'm gonna need a lot more practice to really figure out what MOs are to be able to identify them.
That's fair enough because it's a hard concept for a lot of people to understand. Last, I want to touch on rule governed behavior. We see a lot of rule governed behavior in the house. Um,
Is this like, hey, you're not allowed to touch this in the Big Brother. You always have to wear your microphone, so you always wear your microphone.
yeah, so in behavior analysis, we largely talk about things that fall under operant conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's learning through consequences. You need to behave and contact a consequence in
Right.
order to learn.
This would be like you would only keep your microphone on if when you took it off you got zapped.
Yeah, well, they yell at you
Sure.
over the loudspeaker, but you could
It'd be
get
better if
zapped.
Zingbot zapped you, I think. But all right, well we'll take our mild chastising over the loudspeaker.
Right. Yeah. So that's an example uh of a consequence. You take your mic pack off, and they say,
Right.
"Bean, please put your mic pack back on."
Mm-hmm. Whereas we keep our most people will just keep their mic packs on without getting zapped or chastised, right? Because of the rule governed behavior.
Right. It's because we are social creatures and we have this really cool ability to learn through some language. We can be told what the consequences are and follow these rules in place.
Right.
If if you do A, B will happen. It's why most people don't run through red lights. I don't need to contact the consequence of
Mm-hmm.
what could happen if I run through a red light. I know what could happen because I've been taught, so I stop at a red light.
Right. No, makes sense. So how would you describe then the change if we stay on the microphone for example, right?
Sure.
I forget her name, but there's the one girl who eventually just said screw it and she started taking off her microphone pack, right? She followed the rules at the start, but at some point like that stopped being something that was worthwhile for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she ultimately left the game. So like how would you describe that transition from like okay, we're following this rule,
Mm-hmm.
now we're not.
So the consequence of her taking off the mic pack, and they're told all these rules up front, like
Right.
they know all of the consequences that could happen. She knew that if she doesn't follow these rules, she's gonna get kicked out of the house. Um, she was fed up with everybody. She was over the game. She didn't want to be in there anymore.
Right.
So all of the things that had led up to that point were an abolishing operation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hey, yo.
all of the things that led up to that moment where she ultimately decided, I'm taking this off, I'm not putting it back on.
Right.
Decrease the value of being in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So she engaged in behaviors that would get her kicked out.
You know, when I think about just that example, it makes me feel like just, you know, everything that we do in life is going to follow this kind of like pathway of intermingling behaviors, operations.
It is all the same. Yeah, I'm really glad that you said that, because all behavior that you engage in, everything you do, could be analyzed and fall into all of these categories that I'm going to talk about throughout the season, because all behavior is just behavior.
Right.
And whether it's human behavior, dog behavior, insect behavior, our biology and our learning history combine to produce the behaviors that we engage in.
Right.
And it's really cool.
And that's why biology is so important, because I feel like as humans, we try to anthropomorphize our biological influences on behavior onto other creatures that don't have the same influences from their biology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're still learning, but they're learning differently, and they have different senses and, you know, all sorts of inputs that inform their behavior then differently than it would for us.
Right, but all of these principles of behavior still apply the
Right.
same, like reinforcement, punishment, MOs, the matching law. Although I'll say, sort of unique to humans is rule governed behavior,
Right.
because we have a complex language system that allows us to establish these rules.
I'm really excited to just keep talking through these concepts over the course of the season, and
Me too.
like really nail down, okay, how do I distinguish the differences between all these, right? I want to be able to watch, you know, the finale episode and be like, Mo, Ao, Eo, and just be like, you know, all over it, you know? Can you make it happen?
I think we can get you there.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll keep asking questions. I'll keep coming up with examples from the episodes that we watch that fall into different behavior categories. And together we'll learn a lot and have a lot of fun along the way.
I'm already having a blast.
Yay! The last thing I want to talk about is data collection. Because this is a science and we need data.
Yeah, we do.
Not a lot of data was collected in this episode because it was boom, 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 information overload almost. But what I do plan to take data on throughout the season is comp wins, punishments, who's a have not each week. So we'll compile all of this information and see what correlations we can draw.
Yay! Yeah, I can't wait. I love talking statty with you.
All right, so that's it for our first episode of Ops&Allies.
What an episode! Takedown. Yeah, fast and furious. I can't wait to start getting more data, getting a little bit more nitty gritty. I think this was, you know, one of the more fun premiere episodes, though.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
think
really
so.
excited to, yeah, just see where the rest of the season takes us. And I can't wait to see what like stat trends we see start to form through this, you know, first section of the season.
Me too. Catch us next week where we'll break down what happens with the first nominations, veto competition. Will they figure out who the accomplice is?
Right, there's so much to break down in a whole week of Big Brother. I can't wait.
What will Rachel bring to the table?
Oh my god, we barely got any Rachel here.
Which is very abnormal. So we will
she'll come in.
Rest
She'll come
assured, we will get more Rachel. But for now, that's it.
Enjoy. Peace. See you in the diary room.
Bye.
Operation Road. opponents. Operates used within alliances. Operate